Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in. Today's update has a few new features as well as improvements on existing features. First, I'll show you my favorite change, and it's the new holdable lights. I have two types of lights. There's flashlights and holdable torches. This is the flashlight. It's just a simple spotlight coming out of the camera. Um, Nothing really special about it. I just really wanted to have wieldable lights because I just think it's kind of dumb to have to run around and place torches everywhere to have a light. For instance, exploring a cave, it would just be ridiculous to carry around 100 torches with you anytime you went anywhere. And then there's also the holdable torch, which is a basically just a point light centered at the player, and these lights are actually additive with the voxel light, but they are not voxel lights, so they don't actually change the light levels of blocks. They simply use a shader to calculate the additional light. And this brings me to another point about light. My ambient occlusion has been changed. You'll notice it's a lot softer, and I actually used a different method of ambient occlusion. Before it was just kind of a free ambient occlusion. I made it a little bit more complicated, but it allows me to have ambient occlusion even in pitch black places almost, and it really got rid of that ugly triangle issue you saw the other time. I might up the ambient occlusion a little more because it's actually kind of hard to notice here, but it did get rid of that issue. You still can see, if you pay attention, you can still see the triangles where the ambient occlusion is doing kind of bad interpolation, and I might still do that rotating triangles technique I mentioned last time to fix that, and that'll make this shadow on the edge look just pretty much all around better. Let's see what else. As far as the voxel light goes, I've actually made it additive together, as in sunlight is additive with other sources of light. So you'll notice whenever I place the light in the sunlight, it actually makes the world brighter, even though the sun is all the way lit. This didn't happen before, and it was kind of weird because when you place like a torch or anything like that, it doesn't actually provide any light before. So I changed that, and I like it much better. Um, Also, I made caves a bit darker. Let me find a cave. I think there's one. I'll just fly through the world. It's the easiest way. I made caves darker because they weren't quite scary enough. As one other commenter said, they are nice and claustrophobic, and I actually like that description. I want them to be claustrophobic. And the torchlight, or the flashlight, uh, makes it even scarier, I suppose. Uh, oh, also, one of my subscribers, Ian, I don't remember the number after his name. I'll put it in the description. He gave me the idea to overlay the Sonar shader with the normal shading, like this. And you guys can tell me what you think. I think it looks a lot better. I do want to make it to where the rest of the world has maybe like a blue tint slightly or something like that to signify that you're wearing goggles, because otherwise I don't know, it just doesn't really feel like I'm wearing goggles right now. I don't know. Immersion is important. Alright, so I'll go ahead and fly over to the upper world here and show you the next feature, which is rivers. As you can see, they are quite large and they have tributaries. You can see disconnection here, and kind of some issues with, it's just issues with the LOD. The LOD can only have a certain resolution. I can go into the options and raise the resolution, but I don't really care to. One solution to make rivers not have these problems is to force resolution, or force the quality of the LOD to be stronger near rivers. And I'm not going to worry about that right now because it's not really that important, but I will in the future probably implement that. But one condition of the rivers was I couldn't use pathfinding because I can't pathfind through all the chunks I haven't actually loaded. So using the similar pathfinding technique to what Minecraft has, that just wasn't going to happen. So instead, I used a two-dimensional noise sliced at an interval, and I used a really low frequency, and it gives really long, nice, snaky rivers. without a doubt, there's going to be rivers that actually go in a large circle. That's just kind of a consequence of using two-dimensional noise. I don't see any. I haven't seen any yet. There may be some smaller tributaries that do that, though. The tributary noise function is basically the same thing, just a higher frequency. And I use some special parameters to ensure that tributaries always kind of flow into larger rivers. The rivers by themselves were boring, so I added tributaries just to make it feel a little more real and to provide more water sources for the player to, you know, drink from or what have you. Not really sure how all the survival part of this is going to be implemented. But tell me how you guys think the rivers look. You might notice that the chunks are loading a bit slower than usual. That is because of the lighting, and the lighting actually did slow down my chunk generation by about double. I'm thinking the only way to fix that is to just go ahead and multi-thread the engine, which I'm going to be doing soon. It's going to be easy to do. I just need to get around to doing it. That should really give me a boost on multi-core processors for generating chunks. And I mean, I'm happy with it. It's loading fast enough to where if you were pretty much going max speed in one direction, you might see the popping. You won't get the nice fade-in effect. But the reason it's loading this slowly is because the recording laptop right now is getting like 17 frames per second, so it kind of has trouble keeping up. Alright, I'll go ahead and show you the rest. I'm going to cut the video and find some beaches to show you. Alright, so here's the first new beach type that I'll show you. It's the small cliffs beach type, and they don't really look that great right now, but this is just kind of like a prototype for what I'm going for. And this beach type is characterized by a large flat cliff adjacent to a long beach. This one occurs probably over about 20% of the world, maybe 10 to 20%. I wanted to use maybe some kind of 3D noise to make the edges of the cliffs actually look cliffy, or if you know what I mean, just not so flat. Just have some really cool like protruding features and stuff. And one of the side effects of this cliff type is you can get these are usually rare. You can get these little retarded looking floaty cliff things. I'm going to try to minimize those by just tweaking the algorithm. It could be just a frequency issue. I'll go ahead and find another beach to show y'all. This is the next beach type. I don't really have a name for it. It's more of like a slopey, cliffy beach. It's characterized by usually a long, sandy beach. In this case, it's not. Probably due to conflict with other noise functions. That flows, that slopes down from a gentler cliff. This type of cliff actually looks a lot better than the other type. I might just try to use something kind of like this, maybe a bit steeper for the other flat cliffs. But this noise function actually gives me a lot of really cool terrain features, because this can actually occur just kind of anywhere since noise can overlap. It occurs most frequently on beaches because it only occurs at this altitude, but you can see it in other places. Yeah, what I really like about the cliffs is that due to the caves, you get these really awesome like evil layered things poking out that you could build some kind of hideout in or something. I think that'd be kind of cool. Alright, I think there might be one more beach. I will go try to find it. Alright, this is the last beach I'm going to show you. This one is basically just the normal beach, except it generally has low altitude, and it has these little pockets, these little ponds occur kind of frequently. This one's really nothing special. It's pretty much a slight tweak on the normal beaches. I think there's another beach out there that's similar to the first cliff beach I showed you, except there's no bordered beach on the bottom. It just goes straight out into the water, so you can like cliff dive and stuff. But that's pretty much it. Can't think about anything else I may have implemented that I haven't showed you guys. I think that's it. I'll try to get more features out. I have finals in 2 weeks, so or in 1 week. So after that, I'll start my job, and at nights I'll be able to pretty much just work on this in my free time. So I'll probably have a lot more time to work since I'm not going to be studying or anything like that. Thanks for watching, guys. Post comments and suggestions and things like that. Same as always, like and subscribe. Appreciate it.